because it's not been changed. So think of it as 7.
Are we going live? Yes, we are live.
Hi there, everyone. How are you doing?
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Yay!
Monday Club for everyone.
Okay,
so,
I'm going to say, before even Jen starts, apologies if the stream goes a bit weird, because it's been a massive storm. The local boxes are flooded, and that's causing connection issues.
So we have a big storm outside, and I'm sure a lot of you guys too are struggling with the weather, but don't worry, we're indoors, we're safe and dry and warm, and everybody is welcome here to the Monday Club. So don't forget to tickle the like button and share the stream too. That's really important, that other people know that they are more than welcome to hang out for 2 hours of all things train and chat. But today, what's in the news? Well, first up, the JK Monday Club wagons have finally arrived. And so I've been seeing over the last week lots and lots of people sharing posts of those wagons. And it's so gratifying to see these out there in the wild. It's
lovely. And people have actually got it. They can say, yes, it was worth the wait.
Absolutely, part of the community, and of course that means as well that the MC Metals, that's like it's my rapper name, MC Metals. Those wagons as well are finally in the shops as well. They're on the same pattern palette, so they went via Eindhoven. So
Totally right. I received my JFK wagon. It's excellent.
Oh, somebody has a dream. B2000RO Toys channel. Hi Jenny and Zoe. I finally purchased a Hornby 00 Kobo diesel for my Hornby Boco project. I've also got 2 Hornby battery Thomases for a toy conversion to make a Hornby Thomas, as he looks like in RWS TV. One thing I would say is actually the Hornby 00 Class 28 Kobo. That's probably not your best starting point. Actually, you're more likely to get a good conversion with the Hellion Class 28. The reason for this is the Hornby 00 model is actually quite old.
Isn't that lovely? He's already bought something. Jen's saying, oh, you should have got.
Yeah, so big hello to Mark Wilson. Evening, Middle. Mark Hemmeldown, MR, Ruben Ashwell, Flymo Chairman 1, Patrick Ling, Kev McKay, 85, Jerry BVR, Ralph Davey, Warbler Productions, March West Junction TMD, Alex Dent. We're both pretty well, thank you. Gordon Hanning, I got my JK wagon. Can't believe the amount of detail. Absolutely, it's one of the reasons that we chose to go with the Cura scale, was because I was so impressed with the detail that Acura Scale had been putting into their wagons. Had experience, been able to review so many of their previous wagons. I knew that this was going to be a really good model.
They really have taken the hobby by storm, haven't they?
Absolutely. And their first locomotive, the Irish A-Class, has finally hit the shops as well. Which means that we finally got a taste of the quality of the locomotives that they're looking to bring to the market. Nice. And from what I've seen, it bodes really, really well for the Class 55, the Class 37 project as well.
Excellent.
We've also...
Mark Wilson says, do we really need to return empty Jenny wagons to Weir Yard?
Well, you can do if you want. I'm afraid that there's no deposit on them or anything. Messing about with models, says my JK wagon has arrived. Looks really special. Thank you so much. Richard Swiderski as well. JK wagon, well worth the wait.
Egg right, I like that. That's okay. My JK wagon is loaded, so I don't have to send it home.
Yeah, Ham Shackleton, absolutely. I like transport. Big hello to you. I wonder why on earth do the Sontarans in Doctor Who look so incredibly different this year? I don't know. I don't watch Doctor Who anymore.
I haven't looked at the trailer. I don't want anything spoiled.
Yes, Old's Yard, absolutely. I have seen the discussion about the tender on the 812 on RM Web. People are pointing out that the tender tops are way too thick. Now, all I can say is when you see the locomotive in the flesh, it's not apparent. And you have to take a lot of what people say and bang on about in RM Web with a pinch of salt. There seems to be and this is something if you talk to any model manufacturer, they'll say pretty much the same.
Jenny, penny for your thoughts.
Oh, thank you very much. There are a hardcore of people on there who do tend to find the smallest rivet out of place or oversized fairings, all sorts, and use it as an excuse to justify why they've cancelled their pre-order and that they will never buy this and how dare this model be brought to them.
They were never going to want it anyway.
A lot of these people were never going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, and that's true. Iron Horse Railway says some nice looking stuff from Acura scale. They seem pricey, but when you factor in what you're getting for your money, especially with the locomotives and compared with what the big boys offer, ... And that is it. Detail costs and extra bits cost.
Yeah, and that's it. At the end of the day, a Fiat 500 and a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow both undertake the same fundamental role. They have four wheels, a seat and a steering wheel, and they've got a roof over the top of you to keep you dry, a piece of glass in front of you for you to see out, and they just go from A to B. They are a means of transport. But if anybody says, well, why does a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow cost so much more than a Fiat 500? It's about the quality and what you actually get the value for money. But Scottish Railway Maniac says, I think the Cali 812s are really bonny wee models. Brilliant review you did of them. Thank you ever so much.
I thought it was nice.
Yeah, and that blue, let me just grab that one from the siding because it's not actually visible on any of the views. But this one...
Do you want to put it on the detail cam?
Oh, yeah, we've got a new camera here. So, I'm going to move the Devlin's wagon out of the way. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But, oops. Yeah, I've got to remember, I've got to do it upside... Nope, wrong one. I've got to get my bearings on this. So there we go. That's the Cali 812. In the really attractive Caledonian light blue. There's two versions of the blue. And let's have a look at that tender top. Let's just see. What can we see there? It's very difficult on a camera.
It's pronounced, but it's not thick.
No.
It seemed in the right proportion to me.
When you look down, there's like a ridge at the top, and I'm not entirely sure how that equates to the originals, but you can... let me just see if I can turn the light on there. Does that help?
Not really.
There we go. So that's the tender top, and what you have to ask yourself, are you really going to be able to build a kit or scratch build the model to this kind of standard?
Well, I'm going to say no.
Certainly not for the price. And yeah, I know a lot of people saying, oh, 200 quid, that's really expensive. Unfortunately, that's kind of what we're going to have to get used to these days. It's a fact of life. Handrails on the cab. I did see somebody say, oh, they're like scaffolding poles.
According to one person that says, Russell Benton says, apparently you can go pole dancing around the 812's railings. But personally, I'm waiting for model people to bring out pole dancers. I would love to see that. If someone could actually pole dance around one of those, I want to see them do it.
I think Knock have some pole dancers.
Yes, but I want to see model railway people pole dance. If they say they can pole dance around it, I want to see it.
So let's just see. Aiden's Railway says looks perfectly okay to me. Manthony 1956, really nice looking locomotive. I think if you were looking for an excuse to not buy one, then
you'll
really
find
has to be asked, did you really want one in the first place? But I think most people are going to be more than happy with it, and I'm just looking forward to some suitable coaches coming through from probably either Hornby or Hattons with the Project Genesis is going to be the ones to look for. Now, one of the other things, and whilst we've got this camera on, I'm just going to take this and put it over there out the way. Now, you did notice the Devlin's wagon. Now, the reason for this wagon is I actually went to Harbin Hobbies last week. For the first time I've ever been there, and we do on this channel like to do a really big shout out for the local model shops. So big up to Harbin Hobbies and the posse up there.
George Botterini, thank you so much.
George Botterini, absolute legend, very generously donated $9.99. Says hi everyone, hope everyone's well. Absolutely, yeah. We missed you actually last week. I know there was I think there was something on last week. It might have been a meet-up or something. But yeah, we did miss you last week, but it's great to see you. Thank you ever so much for the generosity. But Harbin Hobbies, to go back to that, we always like to big up the local model shops. And one of the things that I really do love from model shops is those that commission their own wagons.
Yeah.
So we've got here 5-plank wagon, Devlin's trawlers, produced exclusively for Harbin Hobbies, 37-050S. And I know there's going to be somebody in the chat goes, no, my bargains. Because I want to put this out there, £14.50 brand new for this wagon, which in this day and age is actually a pretty good price for a brand new Bachmann 5-plank open wagon.
That is a good price.
It is, yeah, and it also means that you know, this is something that you know, we're getting used to, unfortunately, seeing wagons going
Something's
for
gone down the wrong side.
Wagons going for like 25-30 quid. So to get one of these now, £14.50, and it is a special commission. I thought that was pretty good. They're still showing us in stock. When I went there, they had at least one more, probably a lot more. But this is certainly one. £14.50, brand new in the box from Harbin Hobbies. And it was a nice little shop, actually. I've never, ever really... I've never been there. I have bought things from Harbin Hobbies before, but always mail order. I've bought a lot of their special commissions. I was passing through Edinburgh, so it just made sense that this was a great opportunity to pick up a one of their special commissions that I didn't already have, and at that price, I thought that that was an absolute bargain.
I think you're right.
Putting that out there. Has anybody actually said no, my bargains?
Not yet. Sorry for coughing. I've got...
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, there we go. So we've got a Scottish theme going on. We've got the Cali 812. We've got the Devlin's wagon here as well. I'm just having a look around to see which train can I stick it on the back of.
Which one's got the JK one on?
The JK one, the big long coal train that's crawling around the outside. I'll not put it on there.
Oh, I see it.
But maybe I should put it with the Cali. Actually, no.
Ham Shackleton says there's something fishy about that Devlin's wagon.
Hey, and we're not talking about the contents of Baldrick's apple pie either. Big hello to Somerset Andy. Great to see you. So we're going to put that. I'm going to put the Devlin's wagon on the back of those. Oh, Paul Higgins, the Devlin's in the detail. But also talking about weathering, there's a few people talking about weathering, and you'll see going round the Cali 812 is the weathered BR Black version. Dongit's Model Railway says that's not a bargain. This is a bargain.
No, you've got to do it in the Crocodile Dundee voice. That's not a bargain. This is a bargain.
Which
part? Do it.
Which bit of Australia are you from? The same bit that Dick Van Dyke was in.
Yeah. Which part of Australia are you from? Dumfries?
Yeah. Harbin do a selection of their own wagons, says Russell Benton. I bought a tanker from them. Yeah, and they also do the Leith wagons. Over the years, they've done quite a lot. I think there's only 2, maybe 3 that they currently have in stock. The Devlin's one they have, and then there was at least 1, possibly 2 tankers John JMC says, what's with the Halloween cat ears? They're not Halloween ones. These are just my regular cat ears. I get much better reception from these, you see.
Yeah, she picks up Sky TV.
Yes. Or actually UK TV, which, just a reminder for everybody that UK TV, Hornby and Model World is on there tonight from 9, so we'll be finishing the live stream bang on at 9 o'clock to allow you guys to head on over there and catch the next episode. Which, yeah, Valley's 56XX. Absolutely, worst Aussie accent ever.
Oh, don't say that. I can do worse.
Yes, in fact, you were doing it just then. Egg Rider says, TARDIS on flat wagon behind the diesel. Paul Higgins says, Scottish theme tonight. I'll get my Kilton bagpipes out.
Okay, then, no.
See you.
See you. See train fan.
See, I can sort of do a Glaswegian accent, but it ends up being very sweary.
I did love that bit in the Strontium Dog audios, though. Did you hear my Edinburgh accent? I sounded like a wee Edinburgh Bonser boy.
The Aylesmead projects, my prices reflect as a business, the pricing looks high, but you need to factor in the cost of materials along with a wage. This is a business, not a charity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. John JMC asks, we'll be watching Is It Your Week? Now, I'm led to believe I'm in episode 7.
Which means
tonight,
3 weeks' time?
Yeah, tonight is episode 4. So I think it's more towards the end of November.
I'm surprised it wasn't last night when they put you on for Halloween.
No. Ian White says, is the Hornby show any good? Not watched any of it. It's actually not too bad.
I enjoy the Hornby show. It's informative, but it's also entertaining, and it's nice to see the hobby put out in a way that's not, oh, look at the weirdos, because it's always
look at the weirdo, look at the weird thing.
As a sci-fi fan, that's how we've been depicted for decades.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see other hobbies
basically
not being given the same treatment.
Yeah, basically, as long as we're not getting portrayed as all being like Dwayne Dibley, then we're all right.
I haven't seen an anorak yet.
Yeah. Nor have I seen a set of teeth that druids could use for worship and you can open beer bottles on. Russell Benson says, Edinburgh accent, very genteel compared to Glasgow. Glasgow's like, see you, Jimmy. It's not bad, Rab. Richard
I believe
Swiderski's...
Klingon is actually based off Glaswegian, as in there is no word for hello. What do you want?
Scottish Railway Maniac says, I'm 100% Scottish but don't have the accent. Well, I'm actually half Welsh, but I don't talk with the accent.
Which half, left or right?
Just that half. Belmont Junction, hi to you. Les Cliff says,
hello to Les.
It says, I was hoping to have visited Weiryard this weekend, but sadly not to be.
Aww.
Hopefully another weekend. Al's Yard very, very generously donated $5. It says, can't wait for my light blue 812 to come in. So much that I was quite disappointed when it was delayed to November. Keep up the great work, Jenny. Thank you ever so much. And amazing generosity. I'm going to be putting that towards... I have decided that I need to buy... the Caledonian Blue one, the Cali 812. And also, I'm really taken with that BR, the weathered BR one. Where's it gone?
The one with the sound?
Yeah, the one with the sound, which... let's give it a blast. Oh, it's just gone in the tunnel. Oh yeah, I forgot about camera angles.
Where is it?
Somewhere there in the background. I love the firebox door glow on this. It's actually really nice. So there we go. Right. Anyway, enough of that. Patrick Hill Station says, "I'm from Glasgow." Yeah, not saying everybody talks like that. I've seen theirs, but Ruben Ashel says, "I see the Gronk with the TARDIS has returned."
Someone spotted the TARDIS. You have to move it.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes back up, we'll pick that off.
Valley's 56XX says, I'm all Welsh, but talk BBC English because public school, don't you know? That's your excuse, isn't it, Jen?
Baby there. Oh, that's lovely.
Whereas I'm just from Durham. So.
Yeah. Why, young man was spooky.
No one in Newcastle says where's
right,
Buggy.
can I just say that when I first met Zoe, she said to me, she says, nobody, no Geordie ever says why Iron Man. And then the first thing that her mum said when I first met her mum was, oh, why eh? And it's like, So there we go, let's go. The doctor's in the house. Right.
I still say I'm right.
Barnabas Junction, great to see you. Alex Dent says, the whistle. Tim's Model Railways in different videos asks, do you like silver or gold or both chocolate coins?
Jenny likes any chocolate.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I like white chocolate, so if the silver ones contain white chocolate, then the job's a good one.
They generally don't. They're just different packaging.
Our Kickline correspondent, Dominic Z, is in the house. Says, Jenny, I got a candy figure that was manufactured by Glasgow in Argentina. So what do you think? I think that is, it's quite well travelled, actually. So that is interesting, definitely.
I couldn't tell you who Glasgow are, but I do know that a fair few, if you're looking for certain toys and you can't find them anywhere, Brazil and Argentina tend to be where they show up. Oh, and Italy as well. If it's 80s stuff, Italy is a good one.
All right. Skylar's Hummingbird says, I'm glad I was able to catch the show since I usually work on Mondays. It's 1:21 in the morning here currently. Oh, my word. Gosh.
Wow,
that's a bit like when I film with Ken Patterson for What's Neat This Week.
Yeah.
And it's like at 2 in the morning. The Ellesmead project, the Hornby show equals Simon talking about the collectors as the target customer for making money over a customer who wants to play trains. His target is high profit for products as quick as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the
can I just point one thing out?
Well, the Hornby is in the business of making money. They do have shareholders.
It is a requirement by law that anyone running a business is to put the shareholder first. It's required by you. If you are in business and you are not a not-for-profit organisation, you're required to make money for the people that own the business. So
there we go.
There you are.
Anyway, let's. I think there's a switch somewhere to turn the legal off. Bing. Right.
Hello.
James Hardy. The Hornby programme is on immediately after the Monday Club finishes at 9. Manthony 1956, so is BBC English the language of broadcasting, rather like the Wisconsin accent is considered the language of US broadcasting?
Yes, the standard Midwestern. You'll see it in a lot of, those old cartoons from the 60s.
Uh-huh.
That's the accent.
Yeah, not quite so much now, but when I did radio, I used to have quite a Mancunian accent. I actually can't consciously do it anymore, but I went through a lot of speech therapy to drum that out of me, and this is the accent I've ended up with. B Mozza, big hello to you. So starting my new layout, Castel Nedd Duin. I don't know how to pronounce it, I have to say, but yeah, I look forward to it. Gus Hadley, the lunatic from Ammo, says, I'm in New Jersey and UK at the same time and in Virginia.
Wow.
Gets around. Must have a DeLorean parked on the drive.
Or some kind of virtual private network. To jump places.
Oh yes, a virtual private network. For anybody not in the UK,
We're not going to say NordVPN, but if you were to find a VPN, you will be able to watch the Hornby show.
Wap High says, hi Jenny, saw your great review on the Backman LB and SCR H2 Atlantic. Did this loco pull goods wagons or passenger coaches? If coaches, which one? I can't find any appropriate available, thanks. Predominantly coaches, if it almost exclusively. And there are some available. London, Brighton and South Coast Railway livery available currently from Hornby. They've got some four-wheel coaches, and that's really the only ones you're going to get. They would probably have actually been pulling bogie coaches, but there are no suitable LB and SCR bogie coaches currently available, ready to run. That's not to say that there won't be. We've had the Southeastern and Chatham Railway bird cages, so never say never. And certainly there's some very, very attractive bogie coaches with the LB and SCR. Ruben Ashwell says, shame you haven't been sponsored by NordVPN yet. We need to set up the affiliate link, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Scottish Railway Maniac says, I've got a Delorean tattoo. Obsessed with them. It's funny, actually. The other day, I was driving down the A1M and I got overtaken by a Delorean. I did try and see which model it was, but he got up to 88 and just disappeared. Right, Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, the weird thing is, the Kenner Kickline figures, we're wearing the original golden clothes and the Glasgow ones wearing the red ones, which seems a little bit inaccurate for the characters. Although the Kenner Star Wars stuff did change over time, and some of it was actually just down to saving money.
And some of it was down to them just being wrong. Blue Snaggletooth, for example. He never wore blue.
Wardle Road, big hello to you. Great to see you. Enjoyed the stream the other night. Warbler Productions says Aunt Hatton's doing an LB and SCR livery on their Genesis coaches. Yes, absolutely. And we're looking for next year, though, for those. So if you want coaches here and now, you're going to need the Hornby four-wheel coaches. Percy 6 says, Hiya Jenny, what do you make of the Rails of Sheffield North Eastern Railway Autocar by Hellion? Again, another model I am really looking forward to. Now, I've only seen it in cabinets. I've not seen the model up close to handle, but it is definitely one that I'm really looking forward to and really hoping that Rails of Sheffield will give me the opportunity to do a full-on review of that when the time comes. Now, other model railway news. We've seen the running EP prototypes of the Hellion Class 02 Tango locomotives. These are the 280s, but with their earlier Great Northern Railway pattern cabs. Now, we have previously had the later LNER Gresley pattern cabbed versions, although there was a lot of people, well, there was split opinion on the performance of those. I'm told that these are completely retooled. I did speak briefly to Ben Jones from Hellion a good few months ago now, but he said that these are completely retooled, built on experience, so they shouldn't be considered a re-release of the original version. So I'm really looking forward to them. Certainly they do look really good from the video that Hellion shared. In terms of other announcements, Accurascale in association with, I think it's Kerno Model Centre, have announced the Class 92 Bart the locomotive. So, ay caramba, that is going to be released as a special commission in partnership there. Scottish Railway Maniac asks, any news on the Hornby Ruston 88 DSs? I had one pre-ordered, but Hatton's cancelled it for some reason. That's strange because they haven't actually reached the shops yet, as far as I'm aware. So I know that Hatton's have had some issues with Hornby with supplies, so it may be wrapped up with that, but I don't know. I honestly can't say what's going on there. Mark Wilson says, I live near Colville, where they used to make Star Wars figures at Palatoy. Apparently, the last figures and toys were sent to a local landfill site. That's a bit like the...
We need to go there now. Come on, get your shoes on. Come on, we're going.
It's a bit like the Atari ET games. James Hardy asks, when is the Hornby new Steam system coming out? No idea. What you actually saw was some kind of a prototype, almost like a proof of concept, as to if or when that will turn up in an actual model. Really couldn't say. I'll be honest with you. I think the fact that they showed it so openly in that program suggests that it's something that they've already decided that at this time is not going to get carried forward. Otherwise, I think that they would have just. I think they would have just kept that secret, as it were. ML says, good evening, everyone. Wasn't able to see the last 2 weeks Monday Club live, but was able to make it this week. Absolutely brilliant. It's great to see you. And of course, don't forget to like this stream, share it too, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. And it's a really great way of keeping in touch with the video content that we're putting out. So don't forget that, of course, this week we've got the Cali 812 exclusive video featuring absolutely exclusively the... oh no, we've put that out, haven't we? Have we?
Yes, the Cali 812's gone out. It was the Friday video.
Okay.
You were there.
Yes. So I've forgotten now then. What am I doing for this week? Oh yeah, that's it. So we're doing an ESP build. And let me just try and find it. So this, with no wires, is... Oh, in fact, yeah, let's put it on there. And let's see if we can... so this is... It doesn't really matter which way around, but you can just see there's no wires whatsoever. This is my control system with ESP. So I turn it on, it's running off a battery, you see the red lights come on, and what I'm going to do is, and you can hear
wow.
Yeah. So you can hear it changing the points. You can't...
Wow.
Yeah, what I should do is...
I'm going to take this here.
You're going to point that at the points that are changing. Oh, hold on. You just showed out my skirt pulled up.
Sorry.
Right, so I don't know if you can see...
Why don't you hold that up so it's on the other camera?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can...
No, don't put it there. I can't see the...
Yeah, sorry, I put it there. So I don't know if you can see there. That signal is currently showing green. It now shows red because these points have changed. I'm going to change it back because the train's coming. But this really is a completely wire-free control panel.
That is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So we've got a full video on that coming. That's the DCC Concept ESP. And then we've also got West Hill Wagon Works. Oh, hold on. Should I change the view? West Hill Wagon Works. We've got a video on some of their products as well, which includes a little project of taking one of their products and painting, finishing it, and adding it to Weir Yard. So
did you write Billy Was Here on it?
No, I didn't, funnily enough, but I did use some of those weathering powders that Humbrol very kindly sent over, and we did the video on last week, I think it was, or the week before. Skylar's Hummingbird says, I'm curious, is it only America that hobbyists gripe about Bachmann locomotives? I'm currently... Oh, it's just gone off the top. Could you scroll this back up?
I shall.
I'm currently repainting and doing detail work to some of their American stock F40, GP7 and some steam for my AH and N. In the UK, people tend to gripe about all of the...
It's Britain. We complain about everything. That's what we do. We complain and we...
Yes, we do. And if we see a queue, we join it because clearly there's something worth queuing for. Ed Flame 4291 says, managed to finally purchase an LMS livery Bachmann Jubilee class in the LMS Crimson, like finding a needle in a haystack.
Can I just say, I once queued and found out at the end of the queue when I got to the front that it was just a queue to join another queue. So naturally, I joined that queue.
Did you ever find out what was going on at the front? What were they queuing?
The front was the back of the previous queue.
Really? No.
It was just a bunch of students.
That sounds like a tall tale to me. Lifestyle Unleashed, big hello to you. Hello one and all. Big thank you to everyone who came to the Enwin stand at Gaydon. A big shout out to Kerno Models. Got a close look at their GT3. Excellent. I thought the GT3 is KR Models. We did an interview with Keith Revel of KR Models at the Great Electric Train Show. Is that what it stands for? I believe it probably does. Scottish Railway Maniac says, I'll have to reorder the 88 DS if it's due soon. Anyone know if there's a deposit charge to pre-order on the Hornby website. No, none whatsoever. You'll only get charged when it comes into stock. And also, I believe the Hornby website does free postage above, I think it's £50. So that is always an option, although you will be paying full RRP. Ruben Ashel says, Brits complain about the weather, for example. Oh, don't we just?
There's a lot of weather to complain about.
Kelly Ashford Train says, I never complain. 2 steamies, nice. There's more than 2. There's actually 1, 2, 3. We've got 4. 4 running. Really, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, what have we got going around? Well, you've just seen the Midland Railway, the Midland Compound number 1000. There goes the Cali 812. And if I go to this view, you will also see the Duchess of Athol there creeping around. And if I go to this view, we should just catch, there we are, there's an 01, which is making its way through the yard on the DCC Concepts ABC shuttle. So that is 4 steam locomotives running. And Kelly, I put them on just for you, because I know that you do like them. So there we are. Harry Sedgwick says, I've got a Bachman's Midland Compound 4-foot 1000 Midland Railway Crimson Lake in locomotion models. It is actually a lovely model. I fitted mine with a, it's actually got a TTS sound chip. I couldn't tell you which TTS sound chip it's got, but certainly it's one of them. It's probably something like, it'll be an LMS locomotive so that the whistle chime is right. So what else have we got? Kev McKay 85 says TARDIS spots behind the Duchess of Athol. So let me just check. Yeah, funny enough, you have got that absolutely right. So I will let the cupboard monkey liaise with the doctor when it comes round to relocate him. Larry Rogers, big hello to you. Says most trains I've ever run on the LARR is 3. I'm actually running 7. We've got 7 trains running simultaneously on here.
Wow.
4 running continuously, and then we've also got 3 on the DCC Concepts ABC shuttle. Malcolm Moore says, my wife was in a very long queue for the bank. When the guy in front of her got to the counter, he said, 2 first-class stamps, please. The post office was next door.
Oh my goodness.
Ham Shackleton says, going round and round, making an officer return the salutes until his arm was almost dropping off.
You've got to do the first bit. Zoe's circular queue. Where's it gone? Zoe's circular queue for nothing reminds me of an officer trap we set up once in the barracks. A whole lot of us dispersed out about 30 seconds apart, going round and round, making an officer return the salutes until his arm was almost dropping off.
Ah, but you see, I happen to know the officer trick to get round that. You surreptitiously take your cap off, and then you don't have to salute, because if you're not wearing a cap, you don't have to salute. So once you realise that, it's like you take it off, you go, oh, hello boys. I don't know why, that was very camp, wasn't it? There was a bit of a Charlie Hawtrey, but I must say. Madden Steam Railway says, I'm very happy with my new micro layout. I've dubbed it Warmington on Sea, and I've put the EFE BT well tank and an Adams O2. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for small micro layouts, and I don't know whether anybody's seen the video that's been doing the round. Certainly it's been posted to the Jenny Monday Club Facebook group, which if you're not a member, it is a really great place to go and hang out. There's a little video of like little mine carts doing a shuffle backwards and forwards and make a really great micro layout in 009. Belmont Junction, absolutely. 277 watching and 97 likes. Hit that like button, absolutely. And Flymo Chairman 1, always on message, says hit that like button, subscribe and share, folks. Subscribe, hit the bell and choose all for notifications. It's free. Just give the notifications a watch. Keep an eye on your browser bell. Absolutely. And Kelly Ashford Train says the O8 shunter has stopped. It's not stopped. It's on the ABC shuttle. So basically, it'll just go backwards and forwards. There's 3 different locomotives that do that. That Class 8 is one of them. The Thompson, is it a Thompson 01? Is another one, and then we've also got a Hellion Class 25. Ham Shackleton points out, though, that but with no cap, outdoors, he would be incorrectly dressed. But his defence would be that he was stopping you guys from basically setting him up for an achy arm. Manthony 1956, Zoe, why have there been so few visits from aliens to our planet? Because we are only rated 1 star on TripAdvisor. Kelly Ashford Trades points out Duchesses aren't goods engines, they're express passenger engines. That doesn't mean that they never worked goods trains, and actually there are some photographs out there of not just Duchesses but A4s as well on goods trains. Valley's 56XX says my mate photographed a speed camera van, blew up and printed out the registration number twice, taped them to his car and sped past the camera 4 times.
Wow.
We cannot condone that.
Yeah.
Scottish Railway Maniac says, have you got a Hellion 26 or 27? Really lovely locos. I have both a Class 26 and a Class 27, so well provided for with those. Oswestry Road TMD, big hello to you. Mel's as well, Josh's Railway Adventures, Patrick Furlong. And it says, hello Jenny and the Cupboard Monkey.
Hello.
Absolutely.
Hello.
And also, how are we doing on the Billy's Replacement Speakers t-shirts?
You know, I spent a very long time last week working on your videos, so I just didn't have the time to do it. If you want more merchandise, you have to give me shorter videos.
Okay, right, anyway, Warbler Productions says 6201 was seen on freight a few times, as with the other princesses and a few of the GWR kings too. Ruben Ashwell suggests, I'm sure Billy's Replacement Aliens would make a visit. Big hello to South Line, Southern Line. Great to see you. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. Hi to you. Timber Surf as well. Says, I heard a whisper that there is a new 3D printed supplier has launched. There are so many, and actually what we're seeing here is the start of Star Trek style replication technology. This is how it begins. And as I said earlier on, I've got a video coming up that I've just finished filming, which is an overview of some of the West Hill Wagon Works range, the 3D printed bits and pieces. Really, really great addition to any model railway for detailing and all sorts. Patrick Furlong suggests, I need Billy's Replacement corner shelves to put my speakers on. But will they be Billy's Replacement speakers on Billy's Replacement corner shelves? Dominic Z says, Jenny, do you know that the Kickline and NASCAR brand collaborated together? I do now. Warbler Production says, I've just reminded me of a bit of photo editing I need to do. BRS Lorry. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, I saw 390221 today at Rugeley, Trent Valley. A brilliant opportunity to catch it. Somerset Andy says, Jenny, have you tried Evermodel for model railway lighting LEDs? I picked them up from Amazon. They are great. I must admit that the lighting that I've tended to use is the DCC Concepts nano LEDs. That tends to be the thing. James Pett, I approve of James Pett's approval. Says, is the factory 3D printed too? Well, theoretically, you can print the parts for a 3D printer on a 3D printer, at least some of them.
If you have the right kind of printer, you can also 3D print a factory. I have seen a guy who did once 3D print a house as just a tech demo.
How big was the house?
Well, smallish, but it was liquid concrete that he was using.
Yeah,
and
you
could
could.
Made an industrial.
Yeah, but you can extrude concrete into various shapes, and then effectively that's what prefabs are.
Yeah. He 3D printed a house because he could.
Tim Maslin says, hello, Jennifer Kirk. I received the Jenny truck last week. Really good model and enjoyed giving it a run. Oh, brilliant. I'm so glad that so many people have received the Jenny Monday Club wagon. There are still a few left. If anybody who's not got their Jenny Monday Club wagon wants to get the order in, I think that there may be a link to Rails of Sheffield in the description box, which helps you find it. You can still order them. They are in stock now, so they will dispatch immediately. There's a lot of people with the P2s on order. I must admit, I've got the previous version of the P2. I did a full review on that. Hornby very kindly sent it over, and I do quite like it. Would I get another P2? Probably not, because I don't like to duplicate a locomotive, and I'm quite happy with the P2 that I've already reviewed. But never say never. I did replace my entire fleet of Class 3 shunters when the new Bachmann models were released. I have also replaced things like J72s. So never say never. It's not impossible for me to replace locomotives in my fleet. I like transport says we need some Billy's replacement wagons. Well, one of the other things that we did think about was having channel membership with Billy's replacement speaker, little graphics.
Can you repeat that? Part of it didn't come through.
We were talking the other day about having channel membership, which would allow you to have Billy's replacement speaker icons.
An emoji. I am looking into it, yes.
I think that would be quite good.
I think it would as well, but it's something I have to look into, whether it would actually work and whether people would actually want it.
Well, if you don't ask, don't get. Mark Wilson asks, what's the minimum radius for a P2? I would hazard a guess that we're looking at radius 3, would be my thoughts. I think it'd probably run on down to radius 2, but realistically radius 3. James Pett says a Billy's replacement speakers emoji would be amusing.
Cool, well I'll see what I can do.
Oh, James Pets is showing the emojis there. No, we had something along the lines of a gramophone with the little dog with the his master's voice style logo, but actually having the speaker horn blasting the little dog's ears back.
I'll see what I can do.
But certainly, yeah, absolutely. Iron Horse Railways, Billy's branching out again, of course. Warbler Productions, BRS. Because I was thinking British Road Services, but BRS is short for Billy's replacement speakers. I want to do a lorry for carrying the stock to the shops. Excellent. Just bear in mind though that BRS is generally considered to be British Road Services.
I'm also considering the options for how we would make decals. The water-based slide-on decals.
I need
so
to
you
actually
can put it onto wagons.
I need to speak again with Robert Steers. Haven't seen him in for a few weeks. I do hope he's well. But I know he did briefly mention to me about doing decals, so I need to get back onto him about that and see if that is something practical. James Pett says the poor little dog. But maybe but you've seen dogs with their heads out of car windows, so maybe they like it. Ed Flame 4291 says I have a HMV tie from my grandfather. Oh wow, very dapper. Now that is for the well-dressed chap around town.
Oh yes.
Russell Benton says with Hornby the P2 will need to go down to radius 2, otherwise it won't be able to go over their points, and I can't see them doing that. That is actually a very good point, if you pardon the pun.
Really sorry, I'm exhausted today.
Yeah, you are a bit, and it doesn't help that you sat there reading Twitter.
I'm trying to pull myself together.
You pay peanuts, and you really do get cupboard monkeys here, don't you? Yeah. So, anyway, we did touch upon what is running. So, just as a recap, we have got Duchess of Athol. That is the Hornby 00 Duchess of Athol, the new Hornby 00. The one which started off the issues with trying to get the models from shops, with pre-orders getting cut somewhat. I did manage to get one thanks to Simon Kohler did sort that out for me. And it does have, as you can see, it's pulling an absolutely massive tray with no issues whatsoever. We've then got the Bachmann, a Midland Compound number 1000 in Midland Railway Maroon. The next one in is a Cali 812 in BR Weathered Early Press Black. That is a sound-fitted loco. The next one in from that is an 01. It's one of the Hornby 01 Class 280s. Next one in from that is a Hellion Class 25 number D7661 in Rail Blue with, I think it's got small yellow ends wherever it's gone. Yes, it does. And then the next one in from that, we've got a Hornby Class 8 D3509 in BR Green doing the incline. And then the final locomotive on the tracks is a Bachmann Class 25 number 25054. Don't often actually run that one, so it was nice to get it out and get it run in. And it is certainly managing quite an impressive rate of air braked wagons on the quite steeply graded innermost track. So I'm going to change the camera angles. Are you all right there, Cupboard Monkey? You're not, are you?
No.
Do you want to go downstairs?
I think I'm coming down or something.
Yeah, I think you are. I think you should go downstairs. The Cupboard Monkey's not so well. Wyvern Model Railway asks, what are the white coaches, Jenny? And they are actually London and North Western Railway 6-wheel and 4-wheel coaches. They were made by Hornby. They're the Hornby pre-grouping coaches. I don't have any Midland Railway maroon and black ones, so they're the next best thing.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go.
No worries.
Sorry, guys. I'll see you next time.
Oh, just take it easy. Unfortunately, the Cupboard Monkey's not so grand, so alright. Flymo Chairman 1 says, from Rails of Sheffield for Jenny's Wagon there, my link is broken at the moment. Ooh.
It shouldn't be broken, but Rails, it's on their website.
If you do a search just for my name, Jenny Kirk, on the Rails of Sheffield website, it will take you straight to the wagon. So Rails of Sheffield do dispatch worldwide. And I do know, actually, because I'm currently in the process of arranging for them to ship one to Ken Patterson at What's Neat this week. It's £9 postage for the wagon on its own to the US. Obviously, it makes better economies of scale if you buy other stuff at the same time. Iron Horse Railways asks, Jen, what would you say a good scenic aesthetic would be realistically to be able to run multiple year locomotive, I think year locomotive stations in that could host a steam freight class 37 or a class 158? It's interesting to note that a lot of Britain's railways didn't particularly change until the 1980s. It's certainly something that a lot of stations didn't really look hugely different if they remained open. And certainly a lot of the goods yards only really started disappearing in the late 70s, early 80s. And actually a lot of them just lay derelict through to the later 80s. But probably in something industrial. You could actually model somewhere quite industrial. I've got my old exhibition layout, Grove Street Yard, was intended to be able to run pretty much from pre-grouping right through to BR 1980s, maybe even 1990s. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, what would you think of a custom Hot Wheels Billy's Replacement Speakers dairy delivery van? Absolutely. I think that would be a really good idea. Cameron Patterson, big hello to you. John JMC says, link worked fine for me and I've just ordered one. Oh, brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Southline Southern Line says, I have finally got the Jenny Kirk Monday Club wagon, but unfortunately my wife won't let me have it till Christmas. Waited a long time for Wagon, now must wait even longer. Cruel wife. Ah. Well, you could always order one on the sly and keep that for running and the other one for best. But hey, right. Anyway, we're just seeing the Duchess of Athol going past there now. So one thing I will say is we do have a lot of videos, but I think that with Zoe not well, we're not going to be able to show some of you guys' videos, unfortunately. So don't worry, we will sort out. We will have Weir Yard running, and you can see actually that really long air brake train that we got on the upper level. It's not often that I run really long trains up there, it has to be said. But that class 25, the Backman 25, is very sure-footed and does seem more than happy handling huge rakes like that. Flint Hills Model Railway, Jeff Hammond says, good evening, Jenny, Zoe, and all watching. Was nice to catch up the electric show. Absolutely. At the Great Electric Train Show, it's so nice to be able to meet and talk to so many people. I'm just a bit sad that, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to the RPM meet in St. Louis in America, because it would have been nice to catch up with even more of you guys. Warbler Productions, my pair of wagons will be sent out tomorrow. That's when I get the money for them. Having seen the livery sample, I'm looking forwards to them arriving. Oh, brilliant. And thank you ever so much for supporting the Monday Club Wagon project. And we probably are going to be doing another Monday Club Wagon next year. Maybe make it a yearly thing. I know people ask me about other scales and gauges. And the problem is that N-gauge, I can't guarantee selling enough N-gauge to sell out a production run, and that does tend to be the big risk. Certainly for me, because I have to buy them all. In terms of O-gauge as well, what I might look into if there is demand is whether or not I can get a very low production run through Daypol. But they will be expensive, I'll warn you now. An O-gauge special commission from Daypol will be expensive, but it will be really, really good as well. A lot of people are trying the link and saying it is working for them. So the link is in the description box, and it will let you order the Monday Club Wagon. Right. Anfield Road layout in the loft, big hello to you. James Pett says, for another wagon, something suitable for the 1960s pre-tops era, perhaps. What I was actually thinking of was a sort of interwar period private owner type wagon, a bit like the Devlin's trawlers that you see just there on the end of the London and North Western Railway coaches. I was thinking of something like that, maybe with something like the Monday Club Coal Cooperative on it or something, or maybe something Billy's Replacement Speakers related. But Dominic Z, I have to say, Mattel would most likely want a minimum order of several thousand, and that is far too much. We're going to have to look in the region of the hundreds, and I can't say the exact number, but we're talking hundreds, not thousands. Right. Yeah, as people are talking about in the chat, there has been a train crash in the UK. Happened, I think it was late last night. No fatalities, luckily, although life-changing injuries reported for one of the train drivers, so we do wish them well. But we'll see how that develops. I'm not going to speculate at all. Skylar's Hummingbird says the Amherst Model Railroad Show in Springfield, Massachusetts is coming up if you're still looking for another large American expo. I will need to liaise with Ken Patterson and with Robert Steers from the San Juan Model Company to sort something out. Everything's up in the air at the moment. Harry Sedgwick says, you got Duchess of Athol, eh? Well, I've got the Sir William A. Stanier FRS and the City of Birmingham. Well, actually, I've also got Duchess of Sutherland, Duchess of Montrose, and I've got a couple of Princess coronations as well. Donget's Model Railway says, yay, another yard of track, weighted down and gluing. It is really nice where as you progress with track laying. It is one of the areas that I do find quite rewarding when you've got the track snakes out, and as you can start to run trains, I find that a very rewarding stage of layout building. Paul Murphy says, another great Monday club. Oh, thank you ever so much. Mark Wilson says, have you heard that the Hellion 18,000 has issues negotiating third radius curves? I had not heard that, but I will look into that. It's not a locomotive that I've actually been able to review. I know that Rails have been saying they have been selling incredibly well. I have seen one running, albeit on it was actually on Pete Waterman's layout, which does have very generous curves, so it wouldn't actually be something that would have been an issue for him, I guess. But I will look into that. James Pett says, yes, I'm just at the stage on my N-gauge layout now where I can run trains. It is very satisfying, isn't it just? Ed Flame 4291 says, anyone in chat ever been to the Salisbury Model Centre? I can't say I have, actually. That is one that I've not done. As I was saying at the beginning of the stream, for me, I went to Harbin Hobbies for the very first time in person. I have ordered from them before, mail order, but last week, and really quite impressed. Really great shop. And talking of Duchess of Athol, John JMC says, Duchess of Athol, excellent model. Mine is the older plastic body one, Hornby R3553. All sound, of course. I think I put a video up. Now, it may have already sold, but when I was in Harbin Hobbies, I think they had that very model for about 70, I think it was about £70 second hand in their cabinet, and it did look very, very good. I had to double take. It was in such a nice condition. I thought it was the Hornby 001, but certainly if you're in the Edinburgh area, do go in and pick up that model if Duchess of Athol is one you're looking for, because it did seem to me to be a really good price. And do tell them that Jenny Kirk sent you. Paul Murphy says, I hope Jenny and Zoe had a good Halloween. Yeah, we weren't bothered by little kids knocking on the door demanding chocolate at all. So yeah, actually it was really, really good. Valleys 56XX says, on the upside, the more expensive new models come out, the cheaper second-hand versions go for those of us who like to fiddle about with older ones. I must admit, though, that one of the things that you may find, though, is that the price of second-hand can be on the rise as well, because there's obviously more demand for second-hand. John JMC says, wow, great price. I paid £100 for mine. £100 is still a good price, but I was just putting it out there. I did see that same model at Harbin Hobbies in the second-hand cabinet. Looked in really good shape, and if anybody is in there and in the market for an Athol for about £70, then yep, definitely it is there. Just tell him that Jenny sent you. Mark Wilson says, my 18,000 loco is struggling on third radius curves. I've contacted Rails who are awaiting feedback from Hellion. Let's have a look. Peter Leyland says, I'm at the stage of my 4th EM gauge layout, which still can't decide the track plan. Kev McKay 85 says, I had to get the gears replaced on the Hornby Duchess of Athol locomotive, getting it done at Chester Model Centre. Another great shop. I have actually visited the Chester Model Centre, and we should do that big shout out to the local model shops. Do support your local model shops. Worthington Model Railway says, met Simon Kohler in Harbin in 2004. Yeah, it was a great little shop just down a Leith walk. Not actually too far from Edinburgh Waverley. The reason I was there, I wasn't actually visiting Edinburgh per se. I was up there on business, so I was waiting for waiting for my ride. But because of a train cancellation, I had to take an earlier train, which meant that I got to Edinburgh about an hour and 20 minutes earlier than I'd planned. Now, I was originally meant to get to Edinburgh at about 20 past 5, i.e. 20 minutes after the shop closed. But because I was there an hour and 20 minutes earlier than planned, but was still getting picked up from the station at 5:30, I did the quick walk up to Leith Walk and visited Harbour Hobbies, and actually picked up that Devlin's Trawlers Special Commission with £14.50, a really great price. And I actually also picked up a couple of brake vans, the Hornby Stanier brake vans. So actually I can put these here, and I've still got access to oh no, wrong way. So I also got these two as well from Harbour Hobbies, Stanier brake vans. So it's I have to do this back to front, you see, so it's a bit difficult for me. So we've got the Tops lettered bauxite one, the CAP, and then I also bought, I do love this livery, the NCB blue, and it's got some interesting chevrons on the end. Instead of black and yellow, it's got red and yellow. They're very, very eye-catching, obviously same at both ends. But I do love brake fans, and I just noticed actually as well, the inner partition is in like a very, very vibrant yellow. Really interesting livery, and really glad to be able to pick these up from Harbour Hobbies whilst I was up there. So let's change the view back. Flymer Chairman 1 says there's a few model shops in Glasgow, isn't there? There's more than I thought around me, all 40 miles out there. I'm not aware, there used to be a model zone in Glasgow, but I'm not 100% aware of any other model shops there. That doesn't mean that there aren't any. But in terms of local model shops, don't forget as well, Tim at Arcadia Models in Shore, big up the Arcadia posse, always a great place to visit. Also, we've got the Loco Shed in Whitefield, really, really great location too. Nuffy's Models is a new one in Bolton, taking over the former Bolton Model Mart. 53A Models in Hull, always have very fond memories of that local model shop. Also Durham Trains of Stanley, always great to pop in there. So don't forget to name check your favourite local model shop in the comments. Let people know about the great places that you can still go and browse and pick up some great models. Mark Wilson asks, how many brake vans do you own, Jenny? I love brake vans. One of my favourite types of wagon. Can't resist interesting liveries of brake vans. I've probably got about 40 to 50, something like that. Certainly there's just almost too many to count, and I've just bought 2 more. So oh no, it's going again. Right. Just looking through the comments. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. Tickets to Carlisle are a bit pricey at the moment. I maybe have to book a few weeks in advance, Leslie, so probably won't be able to make it this week. Hopefully another week, fingers crossed. One thing that surprises me actually is that the ticket prices to get to Edinburgh weren't as expensive as I was anticipating. I think it was about £45. Aiden's Railway says, big up the Durham Trains posse. Oh yes, Durham Trains of Stanley, great shop. And do give a hello to Mick if you go in there and tell him that Jenny sent you. Richard Swiderski says, sorry Jen, what was the new shop in Bolton? Tried to find on internet but no luck. It's called Nuffy's Models. It's NUFFY''S, I think. Don't quote me on that. But they've basically taken over Bolton Model Mart, as Phil from Bolton Model Mart has retired. Dongate's Model Railway says, my most local shop is the imaginatively titled The Hobby Shop, located in Faversham. Over the pandemic, they've been doing free postage for anyone local enough to visit the shop. Oh, that is great. Shanghai 264359 says, my local model shop is in Victor Models in Sidcup. I got most of my American outline stock from there. Excellent. Certainly, Invicta Models was featured in Hornby, A Model World, which is on in a little over 40 minutes. And it's one that I bought quite a few things from mail order, just never actually visited there. Although I know it's my friend Simon A.C. Martin's local model shop. Let's have a look. Valley's 56XX says, I'm spoiled with Lord and Butler, the legendary Lendons and Antics. Michelle78 says, Durham Trains and Pooley Puffers also. Yeah, Pooley's Puffers. That's on the Team Valley trading estate, isn't it? I've never been there, but I have heard of it. Skylar's Hummingbird, English's model railroad supply in Montoursville, PA. Large shop featuring HONO, garden scale and different static models. Also the factory store for Bowser trains. Dylan Shepherd, My Model Railway says, sorry I'm late, but good evening everyone. Big hello to you. Great to see you in. And of course, nobody is ever late. They arrive exactly the time they meant to. Anthony 1956 says, we need to see a video of Jenny singing I Love Brake Vans to the tune of I Love Candy. Bow, wow, wow. Paul Murphy says, you can never have too many brake cars, Jenny. Absolutely. Mark Wilson says, did you hear Max Models are closing for good? The poor man has cancer. So sorry to hear that. Really sorry to hear that. And it's always sad when a model shop shuts, but doubly sad. It can't be great for what he's going for. Kelly Ashford Train says, I use the term guards van. Yeah, that's what a term I tend to use as well. Let's have a Richard Swiderski says, thanks, Jen. No, you're absolutely welcome. A.D. Pullen says, night all. Night to you, take care. It's great to have you in. Thomas West says, hi, Jenny. Got my Monday Club wagon this morning and it's amazing. Absolutely, don't forget that if you haven't already got your Jenny Monday Club wagon, then there is a link in the description box that takes you straight to Rails of Sheffield where you can order yours. And there's a few still available. Big hello to J94. Great to have you in. It's gone off the top of the screen now. I've missed my place. Ruben Ashall says, just keep the brake vans away from Douglas. Actually, we've got Donald and Douglas on the layout. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Isn't that where he crashes into the brake van in the snow and ends up spilling the guard's cocoa or something, isn't it? Right. Linnet12DD asks, what's a good DCC controller to get for small OO gauge layout? I have to say that as a starter system, the NCE Power Cab is a really good versatile system. I can vouch for it. I use it. There are other systems. They are generally this. If you get a decent system that's got a handset like this or a big screen that shows you a lot of information like the Z21 or the ECOS, then you can't really go far wrong. They're all pretty good. What I would say is steer clear of the really cheap systems because they have major limitations. Worthington Model Railway says, my Monday Club wagon not shipped to USA yet. Well, sorry to hear, but hopefully it will certainly be on its way. Tony Wright says Buffers Models in Axminster is a brilliant shop. Of course, that's the one that bills itself as James May's My Kind of Model Shop, and certainly I have bought a number of special commissions in the past from Buffers Models in Axminster, including the Axminster Carpets ventilated van, And also the Golden Hill Brewery wagon as well is another one that I bought from there. Bagnall Dave says, sorry folks, must go. Bandwidth problems, night all. Good night to you. You take care, and hopefully we'll catch you next time. South Line, Southern Line says, good night, Jenny, and good night all. Must go and try to persuade the wife into having the Jenny Kirk Monday Club wagon early. Wish me luck. If in doubt, just always consider the option that you can buy another one on the sly and have that for running and keep the other for best. Wardle Road suggests the DR5000 and the Z21 app is amazing. It's like I say, you'll get somebody say, oh yeah, you must have this system, or you must have this system. But I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really matter which of the what's the word I'm looking for? Which of the better quality systems, things that have got either a handset or a very versatile screen to control your trains on, they're all pretty good. My personal preference is for the NCE Power Cab, simply because that's what I use. I've got on very well with this. I can vouch for this system. But again, as I said before, what I would say is steer clear of the dirt cheap systems. Because you'll run into limitations very quickly. David J says, hi Jenny, please excuse me for not saying hi before, but I've been watching you on my smart TV. Your layout looks amazing on the big screen. I thought you'd upgraded to O gauge. Oh, thank you ever so much. And our Kickline correspondent Dominic Z says, Jenny, here are some of Kickline's sister shows: Mute the Mime, Ingalo Zoo, Gunner, Hat Boy and Hat Girl, Clarissa and Friends, etc., etc. I'll be absolutely honest, I've never heard of any of those. Linnet 12DD says, thank you very much, Jenny. Having a look now. I do know that, for example, and no affiliation with this, I don't make any money out of recommending this, but the NCE Power Cab, I believe that Rails of Sheffield certainly were doing a special offer on it, and it really is a bulletproof, reliable system. Paul Murphy, Mondays wouldn't be the same without the Monday Club. I always enjoy watching it. Thank you ever so much. Warbler Productions says, even my simple small layout will be DCC equipped with a switch to use DC locos, as I have a number of sound-fitted locos and want to use the sound as and when I want to. Absolutely. One of the things you can also find, especially with a small layout, is that you can actually use something like ABC shuttles to automate trains going backwards and forwards. You can even interlock that with the points. You can even have it automatically change points. So you can actually effectively automate a layout relatively easy. Starting from scratch with a layout, I always recommend DCC. Simply because there is so much more you can do with it, and it does massively simplify wiring. Don't forget to tickle that like button, really important on the video. Do show your appreciation by tickling the like button, and sharing the stream as well is really important. Let everybody know that the Monday Club is open and welcoming to all. Values56XX says, I'm going to have to investigate Kickline, if only to understand Dominic's reports. Actually sounds intriguing. Absolutely. And Flymo One's done the link test for the Jenny Monday Club wagon. Wardle Road says, adding more on eBay. Wardle Road is selling a few bits and pieces. James Pett says, DCC is easier to scale. Flint Hills Model Railway, Jeff Hammond says, speak to DCC automation, great advice, no limitations with the DR5000. But what I would say is that my experience is that when I went DCC, it took me a long time. I was a DC modeler for a very long time, and I was... No, Matt Rutter, no, don't get Arduinos. If you want something simple and easy to use and you don't want to get bogged down in tech, steer well clear of Arduinos. That's for the hardcore sorts. Certainly, there's DCC. I'd never go back to DC after learning to love DCC, and it wasn't actually difficult for wiring or anything like that. Right. Kelly Ashford Train says Mondays are busy for me. R32 Gaming and a few others first. Sam's Train second. SCD third, and this fourth. I'm only fourth. Oh, I feel slighted. Yeah, Mark Wilson says, yes, Kickline needs investigating. I'll try and remember to have a good look into Kickline, actually. Michelle78 says, I use a Digitrack system on my layout. It's bulletproof, but a bit expensive. Warbler Production says, I only started getting DCC stuff 2 years ago. Best decision I've ever made. And it's interesting, actually. For me, it was the sound the sound chips that I thought was the original USP, the big push. I thought, actually, I quite like this. What actually ended up, for me, being the big thing was everything else. I find the sound to be a bit boring, but the fact that you can have multiple trains running on tracks without needing complicated wiring, the lighting functions in locomotives, I love all that. Kelly Ashford Train says, Jenny has uploaded far too many streams. We don't need them so much. No, but where are you going to get all your new news? How are you going to find out about Bart the locomotive? Ay caramba! And where are you going to find out that the painted sample on the EP of the London and North Eastern Railway brown North Eastern Railway rail car has broken cover? So yeah, you know, this is quality here. If you want the best live stream, Waddle Road's going to kick off now, then this is the place to get it. Jerry BVR says, Little Wicket YouTube channel's a very good guide for Arduino DCC. First one I got to work. Valleys 56XX says, swoons on a chaise lounge. James Petts also approves of the Monday Club being every Monday. Well, I approve of your approval. And Ruben Ashfield says, the Monday Club should stay. Manthony 1956 says, I guess I'm just old school. I learned to do block wiring at about 12 and have been doing the isolation for live turnouts and reversing loops for 50 plus years, but admit DCC is quick and easy. Absolutely, and nobody's saying that you should ditch DC. DC does have its place. But I really found that DCC was a paradigm shift. Tim Davis says, Billy's replacement news. Wardle Road goes, ha, there's poops all over my rubbish. Oh, okay. Lynette12DD says, what day is Monday Club on? I don't know, Thursdays, something like that. Mondays. Partick Hill Station says, what is a good day and time for a live broadcast? Don't want to rain on anyone's parade. I don't know. I must admit that there's a lot of good live streams out there now, and the schedule is starting to fill up. I'm quite lucky. I was pretty much there at the beginning, so I got my pick of the times. And Monday night was simply because there was nothing else on a Monday night, and I wasn't working on a Tuesday. Unfortunately, now I have to work really early on a Tuesday, which is a bit of a bummer. So I'll be going straight to bed after this finishes. Yeah, that's why we started doing Monday, and yeah, it's worked out. Monday Club has really worked out. Warbler Production says, if the Monday Club wasn't on, there would be far fewer members of the community and reasonable mental health. The streams keep us being social with like-minded friends. Absolutely, that's been the important thing about the Monday Club. Valleys 56X says, late joke, Billy's replacement spookers. It's controversial, Kelly. I think you're going to... at the end of the day, if you're busy, you don't have to watch it. There's nobody who says you have to watch it. Jerry BVR says, I built my entire DCC system with point, signal, sensors, etc. using Arduinos, all for under £200, not counting locomotive chips. Yeah, and the only thing I will say is that if you know your way around electronics, it's a great way of doing it. If, like me, you're something of a novice, and I know a lot of people hate the idea of soldering, and wiring is this horrible thing that you're not quite sure what things are doing, then keeping it simple and DCC with like ready-made modules and Exhibit A, the completely wire-free control panel using DCC Concepts ESP. I can turn this on and then I can change points. I don't know if you can see the red light flashing, and there's no wires attached to this. It's brilliant. And in a crowded exhibition hall, these don't interfere with each other. So every layout in the exhibition hall can have their own ESP going on, and they won't interfere with each other. Mike at Pudham Junction, big hello to you. Says Monday night is Monday Club, you can't take it away. Cozzy 118 BMK says keep the Monday Club and add a Wednesday Club for those who miss out on Mondays. Well, funnily enough, myself and Ken Patterson are talking about whether it might be a good idea for us to do a joint live stream on Wednesdays. Now, as to what time on Wednesdays, it would be on US time, but we're looking into that, so there could be a Wednesday Club. Within Model Railway says Little Wicket Railway Channels are a series about automation using Arduinos. Anyway, John JMC says Digitrains, sorry, not sorry. Peter Leyland says the Monday Club for a lot of people have been a lifeline for their hobby, company during lockdown for sure, and it's been very kind of Jenny to make this happen. Oh no, you're going to make my head so big I can't get down the loft patch. Laura, a big hello to you. Great to see you. Welcome back. Sparky129 says, great, a Monday Club love struck. I can join. Lynn12DD says, Jenny, are you going to do a video on the point controller module? I will be doing the Train-O-Matic point controller module. I do have one that is in my pile of reviews, so I'll be filming a full-on video with that as well. Be really interesting because I had a lot of experience with the DCC Concepts ADS modules to see what others there are on the market and how they compare. So I'll be doing a video on the Train-O-Matic point control module unit. Valleys 56XX says, I'm glad one can be at an exhibition hall and not get interfered with. However, that's where I go. No, not that kind of interference. Yes, show the man on the anatomically correct doll where you were touched. I was touched right here. I just realised that made it look like I was fondling my boob, but there we go. Right, anyway, within Model Railway says J94, there are some videos on YouTube that show how to DCC a split chassis loco, including here on this channel. I did a full video on DCC fitting the Bachmann Class 04 shunter split chassis, and I fitted that with a Train-O-Matic DCC decoder. It's a little bit long-winded, but it's fairly straightforward to do, nothing too difficult. So yeah, Ham Shackleton, J94 split chassis can be done, but you have to be very careful that the motor does not connect to the chassis, otherwise the decoder goes pop. Absolutely. Right, J. Pedro Rocha, hello, nice hat. That was my antenna. It's for picking up reception so I can get Hornby and Model World later on. Don't forget that we'll be stopping at 9 o'clock so that people can head on over to the Yesterday channel on digital. to watch Hornby and Model World, you'll look out for me in the opening credits. It's not the episode that I feature heavily in. Tonight is episode 4, which I think is, I'm feeling it's something to do with the APT model. But I'm in episode 7, I believe. Skylar's Hummingbird says, Monday Club now with not safe for work content. Monday Club, after dark. Boom, chicka, wow, wow. Right. Timber Surf says, I have to get Timescale to send you some freebies, Jenny. Absolutely. Always happy to review products from companies. It's a great way of showcasing products to the world, and unlike a lot of other YouTube channels, I do everything from big ticket down to even small bespoke models as well. And in fact, coming up, we've got West Hill Wagon Works. We'll be going through some of the products in their range this week. We've got the DCC Concepts ESP how-to video. And we've also got coming up that Train-O-Matic video on the module for that. But then we've also done the Cali 812 from Rails and Backman. Recent video, gone down very, very well. Valleys56XX says I watched them on a catch-up channel a week late because I'm too tight to pay for it. That is one way of doing it, and VPN allows people from outside Britain to watch things that don't like people outside the UK to watch it. Paul Murphy says, Jenny, you look like a bunny girl. Never thought of that, but yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, a little bit porkier than I really should be. I don't think I'd fit in the rest of the bunny girl outfit. Right. Kelly Ashford Train says, Jenny is a cat. Purr. Meow. Most modern locomotives these days just use drop-in decoders. They will have 4-pin for some very rare cases like the Hornby stuff, things like the Pecketts and Sentinels. 6-pin, very, very common, especially in N-gauge. 8-pin, also very common. Hornby locomotives generally are 8-pin. Then also Next 18, very common. 21-pin, Plux 22, Plux 16, Plux 12. There's a lot of different interfaces, but they're very, very easy to add a decoder to. Heiderich Vladimir says, you have seen both the improved Preston class and the Caledonian Railway locomotives that come this winter with your own eyes. As a person who doesn't know which one to buy, can you advise? See, I've got. Let's grab a couple of locomotives now. Let's get these onto here, and let's just go over to here. So if I move this up, there's the Caledonian 812, and there is the improved Precedent. Now, both of these locomotives have their merits. I think they're both great. I've got both of these on order from Rails of Sheffield. And quite frankly, these are loaners, they're the review samples. I like them both. If you ask me to pick between these two, I have a very difficult time. I think the blue Caledonian Railway liveried Cali 812 edges it from these, from my personal preference. But if you look at the review, the LMS maroon version of the improved Precedent is also a head turner. So it's a really difficult call, and I couldn't really advise you one way or the other. I really couldn't. They're both very, very good locomotives. Sparky129 says, oh, I had no idea about the Precedent. Mark Wilson says, hello, Fox are good at... answering somebody else's question. Kelly Ashford Train's cat ears headband. It is. It's just a headband, so I can... Woohoo! They're not part of me, I have to say. James Pett says, pre-grouping joys. Hydric Vladimir says, I do go for coolness and how good they are executed look like, so I'm undecided between the Caledonian, the Cali 812 and the improved Preston class. I'd say buy one of each, but it is very expensive. And yeah, Russell Benton, the Precedent, is quite a bit smaller. It is certainly a much older locomotive. Values 56XX says, poo to the electric goblins. The sooner they get actual 1 to 72 ready to run at a decent price, the better. With miniature crews, so still electric. Warbler Production says, I would go for the improved Precedent in London and North Western Railway Black, as I love the pre-grouping livery, and it would look right in North Wales. Although both of those are pre-grouping liveries. Within Model Railway says, like the look of your Precedent. And Hydric Vladimir says, thank you so very much for your answer. You're absolutely welcome. Just to give you an idea of how big they are, let's just grab another locomotive, a more modern locomotive. So, gosh, we're filling this table up. So if we go back to the table cam, and just going to move these up a little bit, give myself a little bit more space. That is a Robinson 8J, sorry, a Robinson 9K, aka an 01, just to give you an idea of different sizes. But you're looking at a locomotive developed sort of just after the turn of the last century. A locomotive that was already quite old by the turn of the last century, and a locomotive that was probably about the same, similar age, these two, but they're very different tasks that they were built for. I don't know what the point I was trying to make there was. It's like, you're talking rubbish again, Jenny, and I do that an awful lot. Right, let me just put this back, and I'm slowly building up a huge pile of locomotives. So let's just get all these back where they should be. Ruben Ashwell says, those are some nice locos. Absolutely. James Pett says, pre-grouping is often delightfully dinky. Yeah, I would go along with that. I guess things get bigger over time. I mean, when you look at trucks on the road, ships on the seas, aeroplanes in the sky. Oh heck, I've popped out the, there we go. Things get bigger over time. It's just a fact of life. So it stands to reason. I mean, when you compare these, even the improved Precedent, compared with something like, say, the Hornby Stephenson's rocket, this would look huge by comparison. So I'm just going to get this back onto the turntable. Just put that there. Right, don't want them to get damaged because they are loaners. Wakefield Trainland says, I really like the London and North Western Railway loco, so obscure looking, perfect for pre-grouping modelers. Absolutely. Hydric Vladimir says, oh, wow, the Preston class is fairly small. I'm sorry I'm calling the Caledonian locomotive CR, but I always forget their class. The locomotive class, it's a Caledonian Railways 812. So a Caledonian 812. Leslie Gilpin says, the Precedents were big in their time compared to locos used by other companies around the same time. Lifestyle Unleashed says, just back, been ballasting. James Petts says, I disapprove of inflation. Dylan Shepherd, my mother always says, I'm in Bradford. So actually, you're not far from your local model shop will be Freising Hall Models. Laura said, I did something silly last week. I ordered some transfers from Fox, and because of a browser problem, I accidentally ordered some 2mm decals instead of the 4mm ones I needed. Yeah, so all's well though. They did take them back. Although you had to pay for a couple of extra stamps. Oh my word. Oh, on Friday I sent a stamped addressed envelope with the decals and stamps inside, only to get my own letter back the next day. I'd put the wrong envelope inside, so instead of sending it to Fox, I sent it to myself. Oh dear. It's easily done. J. Paul Anderson says, I don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. Bim bam bim bam bim bam bam bam. And is that? And I think I'm coming halfway through the conversation. Manthony 1956 says Jenny used Captain tape to isolate the motor. If I remember, I will have to see if this will work on older Bachmann US diesels that use split frames and brass gears throughout. It should do. Just make sure that it's well insulated. I didn't actually use Captain tape. I used electrical tape. I think Captain tape is just a little bit too thin for my liking. It's really, really good for containing wiring, stopping it from moving around. But I think electrical tape would be much better. Wardle Rhodes says, would you like a few 009 wagons from AGR Model Store to review? Absolutely, would love to. That would be great, Ollie, if you can sort that out. Absolutely. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent. Jenny, I actually got a Mute the Mime DVD box and a Kickline 30th anniversary DVD box set. Well, I'm going to have to look into this Kickline. I really must. Skylar's Hummingbird, Dire Straits for the win. Yeah, money for nothing and your chicks for free. Ah! J. Paul Anderson, come on, Jen. Sultans of Swing lyrics. Absolutely great track, that. Absolutely great track. Although my favourite Dire Straits track is still Money for Nothing. I just remember air guitaring to that. Probably as about a 9-10-year-old with my friend, because his dad had the LP and we put it on his linear tracking turntable, which had a rudimentary thing where it could tell where the tracks were using a little red laser. And we put that track on repeat and we just like air guitar our little heads off to that. It was great fun. Iron Horse Railways. Billy, we gotta move these refrigerators. We gotta move these color TVs. Do, 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 do. Unfortunately, it didn't like my singing, did it? Oh dear. I have no idea what tripped that. Absolutely no idea. So, yeah, no idea. No, it's nothing. Nothing gone where it shouldn't. How very strange. Right. Whoa. Laura says, I've got 1,076 individual models in 4mm. I've gone far too far to change to 2mm. Gosh, that is a lot. Dongit's Model Railway. Denied! Jenny is denied. Choked in the open net. Alex Dent says, oh dear, it's happened again. I don't know what it is. Just one locomotive, just ever so slightly gone, slightly too far over on an Insel Frog point, I think. But I don't know which one's done it. They all seem to be working just fine. So, yeah, everything's working. Right. Lifestyle Unleashed. I couldn't resist some 009 stock whilst at Gaydon and a lovely Hornby Austerity. The latter in beautiful condition, £50. I must admit that the Hornby X Daypole Austerity is pretty good. At some point, I must get an EFE one to see how it compares. But actually, I think that the Hornby Austerity does hold its own. Paul Murphy says, you play the guitar on the Monday Club. Tim Davis says, Billy's replacement singer. But yeah, right. Anyway, David Scott says, "Evening all. Been doing other stuff. Just checking in. Great to see you. Hope I find you well." Oh, actually, that's a good idea. You post your layout update pictures and videos to the Monday Club Facebook group that Flymo Chairman 1 has very, very thoughtfully just put there in the chat. Warbler Production says, "I honestly have no idea how many models I have in 4mm scale. Probably a similar number to Laura if I include all wagons, coaches, locos, and road vehicles." I have to say, I know that I've got it's about 260 to 270 locomotives. Rolling stock, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think there's probably about 500 wagons and 300 coaches, so maybe 800 items of rolling stock. So yeah, I've probably got about the same total number as Laura. It's easy to accumulate an awful lot. I've never counted them up, I must admit. Timbersurf says, "I have 1,400 items of rolling stock, never going to change scales." Oh my word. Manthony 1956. How bizarre. How bizarre. Flymo Chairman 1, absolutely. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys and gals, and share the stream too. Let other people know that everybody is welcome here on the Monday Club. You can also head on over to Patreon and help us to make the videos that you want to see. Skyless Hummingbird says, "Everybody wants to rule the world." Absolutely. Oh, yes. Dominic says, "Get into the Mirthmobile." Somebody, it's gone off the top. Like, Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Woo, 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 woo. Party on Wayne, party on Garth. Excellent. Timbersurf says, "I dare not count the locos." I can imagine. I can actually imagine. Is that? Oh, for a moment there, have we got a random train just? No, that's okay. It's just an optical illusion. Yes, Mark Wilson. It is all insured. John JMC says, "I've just bought another 44 wagons, all weathered. But do you have a Monday Club wagon?" John JMC says, 40 locos, all DCC sound. Lifestyle Unleashed says, "There's a video and an audit of your stock, Jenny." Ooh. But yeah, never add up what you've spent, I have to say. And Laura says, "I was fortunate that I've been in the hobby long enough that most of my diesel locos were bought 10 to 15 years ago when it was £50 for the Bachmann loco and £65 for Hornby." I know what you mean. I've been very lucky as well. I was in there at the beginning of the high quality stuff coming through from China. I can remember paying like £35 for a Bachmann Class 25 when they first came out. James Petts, of course, approves of being insured. I approve of your approval. Manthony 1956 says, "And Jenny probably has some 3,000 vinyl albums." I think you'll find it's about 5,000. I used to be... I am the morning DJ on WOND. Yeah, playing all the 45s, going on 17. Yeah, I used to be a DJ. So, yeah, oh god, is this "See If Jenny Knows the Song"? Mark Wilson says, "Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the tunes you can do without." And Tim's Mother Railway in a different video says, "If there's something strange in your neighbourhood, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr." I've got that on 12-inch. Worthington Model Railway has been counting 332 wagons. James Pett says 5,000, my goodness. Yeah, I was on promo lists for an awfully long time. They just send you records. Hydric Vladimir says 65 a locomotive. Wow, and I'm here thinking about being 220 pounds lighter. And I'm from Romania, so 1,000 RON lighter. Gosh, absolutely. But yeah, £30, no, about 35, or it might have been 37.50. I paid brand new for Bachmann 25087 in Rail Blue, the first release of the Bachmann Class 25, probably back in 2001. Kelly Ashford Train says, "Go on, Jenny, do the locomotion." No. Somerset Andy says, "I'm back. Sorry, I had a phone call. Hello, Mr. Gilpin and everyone. Welcome back." Warbler Productions asks, "Have you and Zoe had chance to listen to the record I bought you last year?" Yes, I have. Really did enjoy that Duffy LP. Iron Horse Railway says, "It's Jen's World, party time, excellent, woo, 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 woo." It's Alice Cooper. "We're not worthy, we suck, we're scum." Oh dear. Right, anyway, Somerset Annie says, "Pale Shelter, fly as my Tears for Fears track." Pale Shelter, oh yeah, Pale Shelter. Vaguely know that, gosh. Russell Benton says, "Haha, my Hornby 25 was $9.95 in 1977. Michael Pollitt says, "Don't worry, Jenny, I literally have spent a fortune at Tim's Arcadia Models. Have to sneak my new purchases from the wife." Yeah, you get very good at hiding stuff from the other half. Worthington Model Railway says, "Layout and stock insured for $20,000, probably about half what it should be." My house contents insurance are actually more than the house buildings insurance, because I know how much it would cost to replace all of this, the model railway stuff. All of the vinyl LPs is going to be a lot of money. Plus, I've also got quite a collection of, how should we put it, corsetry. Genuine metal bone corsets, theatre costumes, that kind of thing. Tony Wright says, "I have 32 USA outline locomotives plus 4 British OO gauge 32 cabooses." Is it cabooses or caboose? It's a caboose sounds like its plural should be caboose, but it isn't. 32 cabooses, 3 brake ABS, and 95 freight cars. That is a good collection. Michelle78 says, "I paid £70 for one of my pairs of highly detailed HSTs back in 2007. Flymo Chairman 1 says, "My first train set was £18 in 1974. Leslie Gilpin says, "I need more cabooses to match my freight locos." Well, I only have one caboose, and that was courtesy, I think it was Bo Minnick very generously sent over the caboose. So I've got that here. So there's my New York Central caboose with working lights, actually. Really impressed with the working lights. I don't think I can get it to go around behind the train, but certainly I do love that. And for some reason, why has that fallen off? That's naughty. Naughty ESP. Bad ESP. Yeah, that's still working. So there we go. Let's just put that back. And let's put that back. Actually, what coaches are these? I just pulled a drawer out. Oh yeah, pre-grouping. Great Northern and Southern Railway. Railway children. So there's quite a few in there. What else have we got? We've also got, oh, the First World War ambulance train. Always good fun. So I just got so much stock I'd forgotten what was in some of these drawers. Right, put that in there, and put that back over there. Right, let's change the camera angle. I think let's have a look. Russell Benton says, "Do you have specialist model railway insurance, or is it in contents?" It's in contents. I did query this, and as long as no one single item is over, I think the threshold is 1,500, I don't have to specifically name it. So on my household contents insurance, the only items that go above that are I've got some original watercolour paint, excuse me, and they are named on my insurance and effectively insured separately. Ruben Ashwell says, a Monday Clubber is never late. And Michael Wiles says, hello Jenny, sorry I'm late. Absolutely, Monday Clubber is never late. They arrive precisely when they meant to. Michelle78 says, the first loco I ever bought with my own money was the Lima Class 50 for the massive sum of £19 back in 1988. Laura says, I've had a model list of stuff I'd like to model for around 30 years since I was at school. Many things have been added, some removed and replaced. James Pett says, gosh, that is one long freight train. It is rather, actually. That is... we did count at some point how many coal wagons were on there, but I don't know. I think it's about 55, 60, maybe 70. The AGR07 says, hello Jenny, I'm Anthony of AGR Models. I'll sort out with Ollie to send you some of our exclusive 009 wagons plus a sample of 00 gauge wagon which is coming out next year. That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you ever so much for that. That would be brilliant. Belmont Junction says, get a glass of wine, Jenny. No, I've got to go to bed in, after the thing. Oh right, interesting. Worthington Model Road says they won't do it in contents here in the USA. Has to be specialist. Gosh. Warbler Production says 45 coal wagons if I remember rightly. You're making my OCD twitch. It now wants to count them. John JMC says Hornby program 9 PM. Gotta go. Many thanks again. Enjoying Monday Club night much more. All the best, John Gay. Absolutely great. Look, it's been great having your company, and we're going to be winding down now. We've got 4 more minutes. Alan Reynolds, PBA J Cloth Alan, joining you from warm southern Spain. I have liked and hoping for a video show. Cheers, Jenny and Zoe. Unfortunately, Zoe is unwell, so we're not in a position to show videos. I'm really sorry about that. But what we are going to do is, as people move over for the Hornby and Model World, we will kind of go to our own little video trains show here. So look, I'm just going to take the time to say it's been really, really great having your company. And don't forget that we've got videos coming out Wednesday and Friday. They're already filmed. We've got some interesting videos this week. And the Monday Club Wagon is still available. Small numbers. The link down below. You can catch us over on Patreon as well. Don't forget all of the goodies as well, all the merch. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, mugs, all sorts going on. So something for everyone. So just it's got time for me to say, you guys take great care. And until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying, do please like, share the stream, subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until next time, happy modelling. Take care. Bye for now.